channel Knowledge Hub, and subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon for the latest update. Today we're gonna start with your quantitative aptitude class, and that has been the classes your 88th class of the session as well, which is of course been important one. In last 87th classes we had done in arithmetical ability, we had done operations on numbers, SCF and LCM of number, decimal fraction, simplification, square roots and cube roots, problems on numbers, problems on ages, thirds and this is percentage. And now we are dealing with 11th topic, that has been the profit and loss here. Before starting with this, it's a huge request to all the viewers to please go ahead with like, share and subscribe to our channel so that many and maximum people can get the information at once, and even though you can also enjoy the video as well. Before starting with the questions, we will start discussing about the concept as well as your the formulas, that is being important one of course. So we go ahead here. So first we'll get to know about the cost price. What is CP? So what is cost price here? Here that what you have to go ahead. In a cost price, that the price at which an article is purchased is called the cost price, which is abbreviated as a CP. So that is being known as cost price. Now we'll talk about the another one, which is being the selling price, which we tell as SP. Okay, for the selling price, that is being known as SP here. The price at which an article is sold is called the selling price, that is abbreviated as SP, as I had written here. Now we'll talk about the profit or gain. We can say that as profit as well as or gain. So that means the same here. From profit or gain here, that is if the SP is greater than CP, the seller is said to have a profit or gain. Now we'll talk about the loss here as well. Now we'll talk about the loss. For the loss, that if SP is less than CP, then the seller is said to have an incurred a loss here. For loss, I will just write it out in definitions for all. If you are new for this, you can get to know about it and you can write it on the SP. I state that that's for the selling price. If selling price is less than cost price, which has been CP, the seller is said to have a profit, is said that this if a seller price is less than CP, the seller is said to have incurred a loss here. Okay, now we'll talk about for cost price also. I will just write it on for the same. For the CP, I just write it on, that has been the abbreviated form. For the cost price, you can say that the price at which an article is purchased is called its cost price. Now we'll talk about selling price, that has been the SP. For this, that states that the price at which an article is sold is called its selling price, abbreviated as SP. Now we talk about another one, which is being profit and loss again. Profit or gain. So for that, if SP is greater than CP, if SP is greater than CP, the seller is said to have a profit or gain. Now we go ahead for the formulas as well, that has been important of course. Formulas that will go ahead. So first formula for the same we have here is gain equals to SP, which is selling price, minus CP, that is cost price. The second formula we have, you can just write it down of course, which is of course being important one, and that you have to go ahead and these formula you will write it on, because all these questions will do further in this class, or the further of this topic we will done. So of course that has been you are using these formulas. So if you are seeing these videos, you can just go ahead, you can write it down the formula, so that it will be helpful for you to solve it out. For the loss, that has been equals to CP, cost price plus, sorry, cost price minus selling price. Okay, now we go ahead for another one, that is in the third formula. Loss or gain is always reckoned on CP, which is cost price. Loss or gain is always reckoned on CP. The next formula, which is in the fourth formula we have, is gain percent is equals to, when you have to find out for the gain percent, you will use the formula gain into 100 upon CP, which is cost price. Another formula which we have, your fifth formula, is about loss percent is equals to loss gain percent है तो gain हो गया, loss percent है तो loss हो जाएगा, into 100 upon CP. The sixth formula we have, SP is equals to 100 plus gain percent upon 100 into CP. Now we talk about the seventh formula we have, that is being for SP. When we go ahead, so SP for that loss we talk about, this is for the gain formula. You had given your gain 100 minus loss percent upon 100 into CP. Now we talk about the which is the another formula we talk about is your eighth formula, that is of course being important one. So I write it down here only. So eighth formula we have here, CP equals to 100 upon 100 plus gain percent into SP. For the ninth formula we have, CP is equals to 100 upon 100 plus 100 minus loss percent into SP. Now we go ahead for the next we have, if an article is sold at gain of say 35%, then SP is equals to 135% of CP. And if article is sold at loss of say 35%, then SP is equals to 65 of CP. I write it down these points as well. If an article is sold at a gain of say 35%, then SP is equals to 135% of CP. Another is, if an article is sold at loss of say 35%, then SP is equals to 65% of CP. And when a person sells two similar items, one at gain of rupees says X percent and the other loss of X percent, then the seller always incurs the loss that was you have to find out for the same. So I just write it for that condition as well. When a person sells two similar items, one at a gain of says say X percent and the other at a loss of X percent, then the seller always incurs a loss given by, which is in loss percent equals to common loss and gain percent upon 10 square, x upon 10 ka square. Now we go ahead for the next. We have your question that is in the formula which we have to discuss, and after that we'll start discussing about the questions here as well. That is, if a trader professions to sell his goods at cost price but uses false weight, then formula we have is your gain percent is equals to error upon true value minus error in 200%. That we have your formula. You can write it down, you can copy it down, and so that you will be get to answer it out as well, and which will go ahead further, which is in the another question we discussed here. So here we go ahead, and the question we have here, which is in the first question of profit and loss, we'll have to discuss. So we go ahead further here. So the question we have that a man buys an article for rupees 27.50 and sells it for rupees 28.60. Find his gain percent. That we have to talk about it. So we have a first question of the session, that a man buys an article for rupees 27.50 and sells it for rupees 28.60. Find his gain percentage, your gain percent. So we go ahead to find it out for the same here, and that has been important one. So with the same cases that we have a percent which that amount buys an article for rupees 27.50 and sells it for rupees 28.60. You have to find its gain percent that we have. So we'll go ahead for the solution. That has been the first question of the sessions here. So we go ahead and we have to talk about it, and that has been important one. So here we go ahead. So CP equals to CP equals to rupees 27.50. That is in your 27.50 here, and SP we have rupees 28.60. So for the same so gain we talk about it. Gain equals to rupees 28.60 minus 27.60. So then it is equals to rupees 1.10 that we have. Now we have to talk about for the gain portion, that has been important one, and that's what we will have to talk about it, which has been important one, and that has been important which we have to discuss. So gain portion, we, as I told you, the formula for the starting only you have to copy it down if you don't know, because if you don't know you will make mistake. 1.10 upon 27.50 into 100%, which is equals to 4%, that we have as an answer here, and that what we will have to talk about it. Now we have to go ahead with the next one, which is we have to talk about it, and that has been the another important question. That has been the second question. We have to go ahead, and which has been important. So the question we have here, the question is, if a radio is purchased for rupees 490 and sold for rupees 465.50, find the loss percent. You have to find the loss percent here. So that what we will have to go ahead. So here we go ahead. If a radio is purchased for rupees 490 and sold for rupees 465.50, find the loss percent. That means CP is equals to rupees 490, and then SP is equals to rupees 465.50 we have. Okay, so we'll have your value that has been given here, then we'll implement that as well. So we go ahead for the same, and loss, we'll find it out. Loss is equals to rupees 490 minus 465.50 equals to rupees 24.50. So loss percent we talk about it is equals to 24.50 upon 490, which into 100%, which is equals to 5%, that we have as an answer. Now we go ahead further, which we talk about another question that has been, of course, the third question of the session, and which has been important one, and which is we have to discuss about it, and that what we have to go ahead. Yeah, so let's go ahead to find it out with the third question, and that we have here. So the question is, find the SP when. You have to find the SP and when a CP is equals to 56.25 and gain is equals to 20%. So for the same we go ahead. Find SP when CP is equals to rupees 56.25 and gain is equals to 20%. So SP equals to 120% of rupees 56.25, which is equals to rupees 120 upon 100 into 56.25 equals to rupees 67.50 that we have. This has been the question, which has been important one, of course. Now we go ahead for the next, and that has been for where we have to find the SP only when the CP is being given rupees 80.40 and the loss is given 5%. For the same we go ahead, and that has been the fourth question here. Find CP is equals to rupees 80.40 and loss equals to 5%. SP is equals to 85% of rupees 80.40 equals to rupees 85 upon 100 into 80.40, and that is equals to rupees 68.34 that we have as an answer, and which is of course being important one, and which we have to go ahead, and that has been important one here. So here we go ahead, we'll discuss about the next one, which has been important one, and of course that has been important here, and that has been the fifth question of the sessions as well. So we go ahead. The question is, find CP when SP is equals to 40.16, gain is equals to 16%. Find CP when SP is equals to rupees 40.60 and gain is equals to 16%. So we find it out for the same here. CP is equals to rupees 100 upon 116 into 40.60, that is equals to rupees 35. Now we go ahead for the next question, that has been the sixth question of the sessions here, which is of course being important one. The question is, find CP when SP is equals to rupees 51.70 and loss is equals to 12%. So we find out for the same. CP is equals to rupees 100 upon 88 into 51.70, which is equals to rupees 58.75 that we have as an answer. Now we go ahead for the next, that has been important one. So we go ahead, and that we don't have to talk about it. So the question 7th we have here, that has been important one. The question is here that a person incurs 5% loss by selling a watch for rupees 1140. At what price should the watch be sold to earn 5% profit? That is being asked in RRB examination paper, and that what we have as an important one, of course. So we go ahead for the solution here. So first we'll write down the question. A person incurs 5% loss by selling a watch for rupees 1140. At what price should the watch be sold to earn 5% profit? that we have, and that has been asked in RRB examination paper. So for that, let the new SP be rupees X. Let the new SP be rupees X. Then 100 minus loss percent that we have, that is being the first SP, that is equals to 100 plus gain percent ratio second SP, that I have told you about the formula. We'll put the value here. 100 minus 5 upon 1140 is equals to 100 minus 5 upon x, which is further equals to x is equals to 105 minus 1140 whole upon 95, which is equals to 1260. This has been asked in our examination paper, and which has been important one. So new SP is equals to 1260 here. This has been the new SP, and that's what we have as an answer here. So here we're going to end up with, and then I will discuss about the next coming class and the next coming questions here that we have to discuss about from the 8th question of the session there as well. And before ending it up, it's a huge request to all the viewers to please like, share and subscribe to our channel so that maximum people can get the information at once, and you can also enjoy the video as well. In terms of profit and loss, in terms of quantitative aptitude, other than that, we had done your chemistry, which we had done unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 6, unit 7, unit 8, unit 9, with their conversions, logarithms, antilogs, symbols with the elements, and of course with their molar masses, of course. After talking about that, yes, we had done your sociology and software engineering. We are dealing with ER diagram, we are dealing with English vocabulary. We had done understanding the human being comprehensively, the human aspiration and its fulfillment with their unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4, unit 5. That's what we have to do with the 2 marks per single question as well. And after talking about that, we had done your reasoning. In that we had done verbal reasoning. Here we had done gender, mental ability, and the logic reasoning. In non-verbal reasoning, we had done series analogy, classification, analytical reasoning, error image, water image, embedded figure, completion of incomplete pattern, figure matrix, paper cutting, paper cutting, rule detection, grouping of identical figures, cubes and dice, dot situation, figure formation, analysis, and practice question set as well. After talking about quantitative aptitude, yes, we had done started with arithmetical ability. In that we had done operations of numbers, basic and LCM of numbers, decimal fractions, simplification, square roots, and cube roots, forms on numbers, forms on ages, sorts and indices, percentage, that has been the 10th topic, and now we are dealing with 11th topic. And after completing that, we will discuss about profit and loss, addition, proportion, partnership, chain rule, time and work, pattern system, time and distance, problems on rainbow, goods and streams, allegations, omissions, simple interest, compound interest, logarithm, area, volume and surface area, races, games or skills, calendar, clock, stocks, ratios, permutation and combination, probability to discount, bank discount, height and distance, all and out series. In data interpretation, we have to cover up the tabulation, bar graphs, pie charts, and line graphs. So here we're gonna end up with, it's a huge request to all the viewers to please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe our channel so that many maximum people can get the information at once, and you can also enjoy the video as well. Thank you. Hope you enjoy this video. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up and give us a suggestion in the comment box. Thank you.